Hello, I'm Janet from English Plex. Join me as we tackle an essay from Blossoms of the Savannah. Irresponsible decisions can lead to serious consequences. Referring closely to H.R Ole Kulet's Blossoms of the Savannah, write an essay in support of this statement. When people make decisions that are devoid of good judgment, the results are usually adverse. People like Ole Kulet and Oloisudori suffer as a result of their rash decision. Ole Kulet makes an irresponsible decision when he engages in business with Oloisudori. When Ole Kulet is retrenched from Agribix Limited, he chooses to relocate to Nasila, his native home, with his family. Here, he opens a shop dealing with agricultural products. His business is funded by Oloisudori. Oloisudori also helps him to secure some business contracts. He helps Ole Kulet to secure a 4-year contract to supply all government institutions in Nasila with agricultural inputs like fertilizer, seeds, herbicides, fungicides, etc. His mentor, Ole Superior, warns him against his involvement with Oloisudori. He says that Oloisudori is corrupt. He equates him to a hyena and a ruddy he-goat and cautions Ole Kulet to keep him away from his daughters. Ole Kulet does not heed. This decision haunts him when Oloisudori asks for his daughter Resian's hand in marriage. Resian has to be circumcised first. Her dream is to enroll at Egerton University. When she learns of her father's plan, she confronts him at his shop and he slaps her, further straining their relationship. She runs to Nasila River where she contemplates suicide. Olarinkoi finds her and promises to take her to Taarinaji to meet Minik and Ekoitoi, who could help her pursue her education. Ole Kulet's rash decision makes him to lose his daughter. She leaves Nasila with Olarinkoi. Mama Milanoi makes an unwise decision when she keeps a low profile when her daughters are subjected to punitive cultural practices. When they relocate to Nasila after Ole Kulet is retrenched, Tayo and Resian suffer the stigma of being labeled in Toyo Nemengalana. Ole Kulet plans to circumcise Resian and marry her off to Oloisudori. Mama Milanoi knows that her dream is to join Egerton University and pursue a degree in veterinary medicine. She, however, fails to defend Resian against the pressure from society to have her circumcised and married off against her will. She succumbs to the pressure of the Nasilian culture. She knows that female genital mutilation is a torturous and painful experience, but she still fails to speak to Ole Kulet against it. She is privy to the details of having Resian abducted and forcibly circumcised, but still remains silent. The painful outcome of her subservience is that Resian escapes from home with the help of Olarinkoi, and she eventually manages to meet Minik and Ekoitoi and enroll at Egerton University. Mama Milanoi loses her daughter's trust. Ole Kulet suffers when he chooses to deny Resian and Tayo a chance to pursue their education at Egerton University. Pasimei Ole Kulet instead asks Joseph Pamwat, a teacher, to teach them cultural aspects of Nasila in preparation for circumcision and marriage. Resian coaxes her sister Tayo to speak to their father about the prospect of joining Egerton University on so many occasions because she burns with passion for education. When she tries to ask her father, he gets so sad at her and angry at her. He warms up to the idea of marrying her to Oloisudori. Ole Kulet receives gifts and money from him. He fails to protect her daughter from advances by the corrupt extortionist. Resian finally escapes from Nasila, with the help of Olarinkoi, and later manages to meet Minik Enekoitoi, who helps her to finally leave for Nakuru to join Egerton University. Oloisudori loses her as a result. Oloisudori errs in his decision to follow Resian and Tayo all the way to Ndare Naju Ranch. When his first choice for a wife, Resian runs away with Olarinkoi. The Kailos offer Tayo as a replacement. Minik's men manage to rescue her from a Soit village, but not before she is circumcised. When he loses both of them, Oloisudori pursues them up to Minik and Koitoi's ranch. He knows that Minik is referred to as a wasp, but still chooses to confront her. He demands for either Resian or Tayo, saying that he has paid dowry enough for both. Minik says that she will not release them even to their father. She asks Oloisudori to leave. He asks his men to grab Resian, and then a pandemonium ensues. Minik's 400 workers descend upon them and clobber them thoroughly before torching his expensive vehicles and reducing them to smoldering shells. Oloisudori loses his vehicles and still fails to get a wife even after spending a lot of money, time, and effort. Olarinkoi makes two foolish decisions. First, he abducts Resian and then he tries to rape her. When Resian runs away from home and is contemplating her next course of action by Nasila River, Olarinkoi arrives and tells her that Oloisudori men are looking for her all over. He offers to take her to Ntaare Naju to meet Minik, her icon. She complies owing to the fact that she trusts him since he has been a regular visitor at their home, and he saves Tayo and her when the vagabonds Ntaare Muyo and Lante try to rape them. Olarinkoi does not keep his word. He instead takes her to Inquieto. He locks her up in a dingy hut. That night, we are told, he comes back, stone-drunk, insisting that Resian is his wife. He mocks Resian about her education, and he forcefully grabs her, tearing her clothes and pushing her to bed. She defends herself by pushing his thumb into her mouth and sinking her teeth into it until it bleeds. She almost loses the thumb. Olarinkoi suffers physically and also emotionally when he is admonished by his mother until he goes into hiding due to shame. Nabaru the nurse, who was contracted by the Mono-eyed woman to take care of Resian after circumcision, helps to rescue her when she brings a lorry driver who takes them to Ndare Naju. Apart from the physical and emotional pain, Olarinkoi fails to get Resian as a wife as a result of his irresponsible decision. Mama Milanoi makes an irresponsible decision when she tricks Tayo into circumcision. When Resian runs away with Olarinkoi to avoid marriage to Oloisudori, Tayo is offered as a replacement. Mama Milanoi allows her to accompany the three women from Soit. They lie to Tayo that Resian is on a hunger strike and has gone for 3 days without eating. They want her to accompany them to Soit for Resian's sake. She complies and accompanies them happily since her mother assures her that their father had vowed never to try to marry them by force to any man. At Soit, she is thrown into turmoil as no one attends to her or talks about Resian. She is instead left in a dingy hut. The next morning, she is dragged out of the hut by a group of excited women. 20 liters of cold water is emptied on her head before she is forcibly circumcised by the Mkaratani. The ordeal is so painful that she passes out. She is later rescued by Minik's men with the help of Joseph Pamwat, who tricks the guards, guarding her with alcohol. The guards attempt to chase after Minik's men, pelting them with stones, but they fail. Pamwat is spared to death. Mama Milanoi loses Tayo when she is taken to Monique's ranch. Through characters like Olois Dori and Olarinkoi, we learn that foolish decisions usually lead to bad consequences. We ought to think before we leap. Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly remember to like, please share this video, and please subscribe if you haven't. Hoping to see you in the next lesson.